Let's log back in here. Alrighty. Let's log back in here. Alright, there we go. Oh man, that was really. Alright, here we go. Back at it. 2nd down and 4 coming up for Oregon. They're getting ready for a bit for this drive. They're down inside the 25. Dante Moore, play action, pressure. Rolls out to his right, fires for a first down there. That was Kenyon Sadiq, their star tight end. Might end up being tight end 1 in the NFL draft soon. He makes the catch right there. So Kenyon Sadiq on a little rollout from Dante Moore, a little designed rollout. And there he goes. So Dante gets it done right there. First down and 10 for Dante Moore in Oregon. Indiana got the early pick 6. Play clock is winding down. Do they just have to call a timeout? They do. First time out of the game used by the Hoosiers. So what a start to this game. The winner to the national championship to take on the Miami Hurricanes. What a run the Hurricanes have been on. A special run for them for sure. Yeah, Signetti burns the early timeout there. I'm pretty surprised that he did. But, I mean, he likes to get his defense set up the way he wants it to. He is not afraid to burn the early timeouts ever. So, I can't say I'm too surprised. But, yeah, what a start to this game. Indiana getting a pick 6 on literally the first freaking play of the game is insane. I don't even know how that's possible, but they did it. Really good stuff from the Hoosiers right there. And so, at the end of the day, Oregon's responded nicely with a really good drive. So, they're doing what they need to do right now. They're having a really strong response drive to it. They've had a really good response. And if they can get in the end zone, hey, look, it's tough to put that behind them, but you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to really put that behind you and just keep on playing. So, yeah, classic game last night that we got to watch. It was a great game. College football is amazing, and that was an amazing game in the Fiesta Bowl between Ole Miss and between Ole Miss and so yeah, but between Ole Miss and Miami, it was a fun game. Went back and forth to the wire. Carson Beck with the rushing touchdown to end the game. Don't think that was on anybody's bingo card going in, but hey, got it done. He got it done. Carson Beck is going to the national championship. And if you had said that at the beginning of his college career, you'd been like, well, no, duh, he plays for Georgia. But Beck ended up winning that battle. The little battle, whatever you like to call it, between him and Georgia. I mean, Carson Beck won. He made it to the national championship game. Georgia never made it with him. Georgia didn't make it after he left. So, shout out to Carson Beck. I definitely didn't expect him to be the one who had more success when it came to that situation, but he did. He got to the national championship. Now, obviously, Miami's a tough team. I would love to see them play either of these teams. Their physicality in the trenches is unmatched, in my opinion. Their offensive line's incredible. Their defensive line, Mesidor and Bain, are absolute machines. And, I mean, that's going to be a really tough team to beat. Malachi Tony having one of the greatest true freshman seasons we've ever seen. I mean, we saw Jeremiah Smith last year. Now we see yeah. Now we see they're in the natty. First and 10 from the 17-yard line. It's been a really strong response drive. Hand off to the outside, and they're stuffed at the 20, maybe the 19. A couple yards lost there from Oregon. Again, yeah, Indiana just plays so well. Great gap discipline. Great just overall. They're just a really good football team. They're so well coached. Signetti, best coach in the game. And they're going to be prepared and ready to go every single game. And I mean, yeah, that's an incredible start, but yeah, I mean, they still got a lot of football to be played. Second down and 12. Oregon still trying to get back in it after that rough start. Empty backfield. Dante Moore dropping back. A lot of time. Great pocket. Finally launches to the end zone. And he overthrows his man. It was one of those running backs. That time was that Hill or Harris there? Both of them are very similar numbers. That's a really unfortunate misfire, though, from Dante Moore. So third down coming up. Hill was the intended target. Third and 12 from the 19-yard line. Dante Moore, 5-man rush, pressure, Moore, and zone, touchdown, Ducks! Jamari Johnson with the touchdown, and Oregon responds with a touchdown of their own. So after a disastrous start on the pick six from Dante Moore, a phenomenal response, and Oregon is back in the end zone. So it'll be 7-7 after the PAT from Atticus Sappington. There you go. So yeah, I got to give Oregon a lot of credit. Great response there. I mean, hey, you know what? Dan Lanning and that sideline, they're never going to lose belief, especially after one play. Now, I bet when Pons ran into the end zone, I bet that the immediate thought from Oregon fans and maybe a couple guys in the sideline are like, "Oh boy, here we go again." Very reminiscent of the Ohio State game last year, where it's like, "Oh boy, it all just snowball effect from the second the game started." But you know what? Hey, they bounced back. That's a huge touchdown drive right there, and now, hey, it's anybody's ball game. I mean, hey, it's going to be a battle today. Again, both these teams earlier in the season played each other. It's tough to beat a team twice. I mean, Oregon knows that. They lost to Ohio State last year the second time they played. Georgia wasn't able to beat Ole Miss the second time. It really is super difficult to beat a team a second time because adjustments are made. You're more familiar. It really does become more of a toss-up the more times you play. It's not an easy thing to do. Anyways, I mean, yeah, that game was on October 11th in Eugene, Oregon's only loss of the season. Dante Moore, 186 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Malik Benson only had 1 catch that game. De'Corian Moore was held in check. Fernando Mendoza had a pretty solid game, and Roman Emby had 2 touchdowns. And Elijah Sarrett had a huge game as well. So we shall see. What a game. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one. So I was gone for a little bit, but I'm back now, and Indiana has taken a 14-7 lead. Touchdown Hoosiers, man. Oh my gosh. They're just so freaking physical. That last touchdown was Omar Cooper, though, on a pass from Fernando Mendoza, but Indiana's looking great right now. They're running the football well. They're leaning on Oregon, and yeah, it's just not ideal. Kurt Cignetti's, oh man, Kurt Cignetti's team is just making it happen. So Oregon will get the football back, but another response will be needed. Another response will be needed. Dang, Trinidad Chambliss did not get another year of eligibility. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. So we'll see. I just don't know if Oregon is going to be consistently physical enough. I just don't know. Like, are they going to be are they going to be able to match Indiana's physicality up front? That's the real question at this point. But yeah, two Big Ten teams and then an ACC team in the national championship. SEC drought continues. As a Texas fan, I mean, I don't really care. I hope we're there. Hope the Texas drought ends. That'd be nice, But yeah, we'll see what Oregon can do. Again, 14-7, not an ideal start for Oregon right now. They're kind of struggling. Defensively, they got walked down the field by the run game and Fernando Mendoza, and then obviously a pick six in the first play of the game just puts you behind. And yeah, wow. Oh man. Hmm. So 11 plays, 75 yards is a surgical drive from Indiana. And now they will kick it off to Oregon, who gets the football. Trailing 14-7 here in this first quarter. So yeah, Fernando Mendoza from the 8-yard line. It's just a simple out route concept here from Omar Cooper. Mendoza puts it right on the money, leads him outside, taps in those toes. Touchdown, Indiana. It's a great throw. So there you go. Oregon trailing now because of that. Now Dante Moore has to respond again. What's so great about Indiana though is that they're so disciplined. They're well positioned. They're a tough team to beat because there's elite coaching and some very good players. As there's the run from Harris. He's gotten a lot of work early on in this game. So Dante Moore, again, he responded really nicely to the early pick six. In Oregon had a really nice drive, but then after that, and now they got to keep on responding because Indiana's showing zero signs of slowing down. Second down and 6. So both teams with some 75-yard drives for touchdowns. Difference in the game is the more interception returned by Pons for the pick six. First quarter is over in the Peach Bowl. It is Indiana leading 14-7. If you guys are listening, obviously, be sure to click the subscribe button. What a start. The winner to the national championship to play the Miami Hurricanes and Carson Beck. That is what's at stake today for both of these Big Ten programs. Indiana, Again, we've talked a lot about them. They're an incredible team. They're well coached. They've been balling out. They're looking good in the transfer portal too. Indiana's been doing really well in the portal. Nick Marsh, Josh Hoover. They're reloading. They're going to be back next year, just as well as they are this year. They're going to be really good again. But obviously, I mean, Indiana, they haven't lost a game for a reason. I think us as college football fans struggle to like kind of rationalize that because it's like it's a lot of logo luxury, logo bias is real. Look, I mean, if you don't bat an eye if you see Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, if they're ranked high, you don't bat an eye. It's like, okay, those programs are usually elite. They're probably really good. Indiana, it's like, okay, they're number one. They beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, but like, they're still Indiana, right? Like, I mean, most of the people have grown up in their whole lives. Indiana's been awful and sorry at football, but they've, I mean, a national championship, getting this far, the run that they've had, really this 2 year run, kind of changes everything, right? Changes the people's perceptions of Indiana as a program. I mean, they're wow. Like, I mean, they're special boys. Indiana's amazing. They've had a really, really good season. He had a really good season last year. Put them on the map. They had a good portal. They got Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, and all of a sudden, hey, they could be competing for a national championship in 10 days if they win this game tonight. I mean, that's just how incredible the turnaround's been for Cignetti. Again, who would have thought that Indiana would be in the Rose Bowl and they would blow out Alabama? I mean, that game was never competitive for a second. And people were wondering, like, okay, well, you know what? Like, Indiana's the number one team in the country. They're undefeated. They beat Ohio State. Like, they're obviously a good football team. But, like, Alabama's Alabama. Alabama's still talented. Alabama, are they hitting their stride? Are they finally hitting their stride at the right time? And then, Indiana blew the doors off of them in front of a national audience. And it's like, okay, well, now Indiana looks like the most legit team in the country. They're super physical, disciplined, well coached. They got the best quarterback in the country. They got a really good run game, really good offensive line, receivers that are very capable. And if you really think about it, what's funny about college football right now, if you look at the transfer portal stuff, if you look at the Final Four right now, it really is. It has been a change of guard in college football. It's more like, okay, the blue bloods are still there and they're still good, but these new bloods, Indiana, Oregon, Texas Tech, Ole Miss with Kiffin, like the teams that spend big on that NIL, portaling, going for the experienced players, the transfers, Miami this year. College football is in a new era. It's all about portaling. It's all about experience. Like, that's what it really is about. I'll touch on this point more in a second. As here's a 2nd down and 6 from the 29. Handoff up the middle, Harris. The 4 teams that made the Final Four this year, the 4 finalists for the college football playoff, all of them have new starting quarterbacks, and none of them are homegrown. Dante Moore transferred to Oregon from UCLA this offseason. Fernando Mendoza transferred to Indiana from Cal. And then you have, of course, last night's game. Trinidad Chambliss was playing D2 football at Ferris State less than a year ago. And Carson Beck was at Georgia. So, I mean, those guys right there, I mean, that's just how much the sport has changed. The portal is everything. Getting that proven talent is everything. 3rd down and 2. They run it up the middle, and Indiana stuffs it. All around Indiana with the amazing stop. There's Jones. And Indiana, again, they lost Stephen Daly, their star D lineman, in the Big Ten championship. But it doesn't matter. These boys are physical. What a play. They just stuffed this run right through the middle. What a stop. Kamara got through the hole. Jones cleaned it up. And the Ducks are going to be forced to punt the football. First punt of the game for either team. It went pick 6, touchdown. Now punt. And now here we go. This punt will bounce to the 20 and it'll stop around the 18. So Wow, I mean, that is just ridiculous. Indiana is just, man, oh my goodness, they're crazy. But yeah, it really is. That's what this sport has become. It really is the portal. And Indiana's got an older, more experienced team. And if you can coach them up properly, you get to this point. Hmm. That's just crazy. Yeah, it's literally the portal is what gets it done for you. And now it's like, well, I mean, Signetti like there's no there's he's not stopping either, you know? Yeah. Um like it really is. It's truly like we're watching Indiana change the sport, and like that's like we're watching this transpire in front of our eyes right now. Is the sport of of college football is completely changing. The way to win football games, the way to win national championships, like it's changing. This is the new wave of the sport. Um and it's crazy. It really is, like you're really watching this like unfold. So anyways, this just it's insane. It's crazy how it's all going down. But it's exciting, you know. The off season's going to be crazy. It's already been very chaotic. So many guys portaling every single year. We'll see if there are changes made to the rules, the transfer rules, the portal rules, going NIL rules going forward. But as of right now, this is kind of what it is. And again, Indiana's already reloaded a bunch for next year. Imagine adding a national championship trophy. It's like, okay, well, shoot, you know what? What's next, right? Like they already got guys ready. They already got their quarterback for next year. Star wide receiver Marsh is coming in. I mean, it's crazy. But anyways, if y'all listening, click the subscribe button. Now, the loser of tonight's game, we'll see who ends up hitting the portal. What we've seen a lot of already is a lot of these teams are losing a lot of young players. A lot of young talent is entering the transfer portal. I mean, just, today, Ole Miss was eliminated from the playoffs last night, and Winston Watkins, who caught a pass for them last night in that game. Winston Watkins is going to the portal. You know, their young freshman wide receiver. He's already in the portal. We'll see if he goes to LSU, because I mean that seems to be, their wide receiver city right now, getting everybody. So I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Mendoza and Indiana getting the football back. It's an RPO. Indiana loves their RPOs. And they run one there up the middle. So Kurt Signetti's boys trying to make it happen, go to the national championship, the greatest season in Indiana history. At one point, this team was just an underdog story, but they are no longer the dogs. They are at the top. Again, they're the number one team in the country at 14-0. Here's Mendoza, handoff left side to, is that Hemby or is that the other, that Black? It is Black who got that carry. It's Hemby and Black. And again, it's just like, yeah, again, this is just, I also didn't know if like it was going to be possible for a team to, go undefeated anymore in this new era of college football. Well, shoot, Indiana could go 16-0 and win a national championship. Like that's just, it's crazy, man. I mean, last year Ohio State did it with the 2 losses, but they got hot when it mattered. Indiana's just been that team all year. 3rd and 8, blitz is coming. Mendoza steps up to run left. Fernando Mendoza's got a first down on the sideline. Fernando Mendoza has the athleticism to make plays with his legs like that. The future number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. What a play. Oregon shows heavy blitz. They send a ton of pressure, and they leave the left side of the field open for Fernando Mendoza to scramble and get a big first down for IU. He got across the 20 and then just stayed in bounds and gets the first down with the legs. And there it is. 1st and 10, Mendoza, handoff, left side, Black. Well defended. And it was Botcher who made the tackle. Is that a flag that just flew in? It is a flag that just flew in right here. We'll see what the call is. Did they get a hold? Was he brought down awkwardly? What happened on this play? Ooh. Wow. Illegal block below the waist on the defense. Obidegwu, number 7. That's not a call you see too often. Dan Lanning not crashing out right now. Not too angry, it looks like, at the moment. Or trying to just hide it. But yeah, right here, Obidegwu just went really low on one of those offensive linemen, which is weird because it didn't really matter. The guy was already kind of past him at that point. I don't really know why he did that. That was really unnecessary. So Indiana's in great field position. Now they're at the Oregon 40, and Roman Embi gets it up the middle with a few yards. So again, every single run, it seems like Mendoza's, faking a pass, looking like it's an RPO, getting at least a defender's eyes or two moving. That's the Indiana scheme. Fernando Mendoza's LinkedIn, bro. Oh, man. I think it's one of the funniest things I've seen, bro. This dude has a LinkedIn, bro. Dude, you're about to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, and you have a freaking LinkedIn. I'm done. It's too funny. If you are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. 2nd down and 7, Mendoza fires left side, ball batted in the air, incomplete. Very dangerous play right there. That ball was up there on the deflection by Oregon. Always dangerous. I see this number 28 for them, Bocher, is just everywhere on the field right now, making some big-time plays. 3rd down and 7 for Indiana. Fernando Mendoza, excellent in moments like this. He's super clutch. And we'll see what he can do. From the 37, Mendoza. Pressure comes, and he's stripped. The ball's in the air. Mendoza got it back. Is he allowed to throw it? He's going to be slung down by Oregon. So Indiana avoids a disastrous fumble, but Dan Lanning's defense makes a huge play, and they'll be forced to punt the football. That's a big-time play right there for Oregon's defense. A chaotic play. This is just a 4-man rush. Win off the right side. Ball gets knocked out of Mendoza's hands. The right tackle tried to grab it. It ends up back in Mendoza's hands. And then he makes a nice play right there. So Indiana forced to punt the football away. 4th down. And they are going to send this one deep to the 10. Oregon will return this one. Left side and slung down. I've not seen anything about Decory. Oh, that's Charlie Becker, bro. That dude's on special team. That's so funny. So they avoid worst case scenario going down 2 scores, and they get the fumble. Nice job by Mendoza to at least try to do something. I don't know if he would have been able to throw the football there, but that's a big 20-yard loss. So, is Decory Moore injured, or is he just not doing anything right now? Decory Moore. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they can get Decory Moore going. He was off to a great start. I heard all about Decory Moore earlier in the season, how he was him, and then I just haven't really. He's kind of tailed off, right? Decory went. He hasn't even. Man, I heard so much about him. It's okay, he hasn't really done anything spectacular this year. If we're being for real. 69 yards and a touchdown against Oklahoma State. 89 yards against Penn State. He didn't do anything against Indiana the first time around, only 39 yards, 63 yards against Rutgers. Like, DeCorian really hasn't been crazy this year. And then one catch for 5 yards against JMU and 21 yards on 3 receptions against Oregon, or against Tech. Like, DeCorian, like, I heard so much about DeCorian more, and it's just like, he's a good player, and I don't doubt that he's going to be a very good player in college football. It's just like, okay, like, he was not the best freshman wide receiver at all this year. It wasn't really close. Malachi Toney was incredible this season. That dude is an absolute machine. I mean, you got to get that boy the football. He is just super, super electric. So, we'll see what Oregon does. We'll see if DeCorian gets the football. Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. Dante Moore in Oregon getting the football in a big moment here. Down 7, 9:35 to go in the second quarter. And a ball's loose! It's a fumble! And Indiana's got it inside the 5! Landino, the backup in place of Stephen Daly, recovered it, and a colossal mistake by Oregon again. Oh my goodness, that is just so wow. It's an RPO screen. Dante Moore hits his arm and hand on his own running back. Oh, that's an all-time goof. That is an all-time goof. And it's going to cost them. And Dan Lanning he's got to be beside himself right now. Like, there's just no way that just happened. So now Indiana with the football inside the 5-yard line. That's just the difference. Indiana's not making those mistakes. Oregon is. Really, really bad mistake. This might be the easiest touchdown drive of Fernando Mendoza in Indiana's season. They're at the 3 to start the drive. Toss out to the right. It's Black. Hurdles up near the 2. He gets about a yard with that one, but he's going to go down a couple yards away from the end zone. If Oregon managed to get a stop here, that would be just unreal, but that's just a killer. If you are listening, click the subscribe button, though. Again, really helps out the channel. Helps out me with going forward. NFL playoffs are coming up. I'm really excited for those games. Tomorrow, there are playoff games. Rams-Panthers at 3:30. Packers-Bears on Prime at night. Handoff up the middle, and did he get in? Oregon thinks they stopped him. The official says they did, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and goal. A goal line stand here in a moment like this would truly be, like, remarkable and unbelievable, but there's just no way, right? That's such a killer, though. I cannot believe Dante just did that, bro. I actually can't believe that Dante just, like, or that running back who's ended up in the way. Like, how does that even happen? How does that happen? 3rd and goal from the half-yard line, up the middle, Black into the end zone. Touchdown, Hoosiers. You're not going to stop Indiana from inside the 5 very often. Kalen Black is in, and the Hoosiers take advantage of that mistake. The second crucial turnover of the game from Oregon in the first half. And Indiana, 3 plays, 3 yards, 1 touchdown. Hoosiers lead 21-7 after the Radicic PAT. Unbelievable. Oregon fans, I mean, hey, it's that's what kills you, dude. It's like you get to a game like this, the biggest game in recent history for this program. One of the biggest game, probably the biggest. This might be the biggest game in Oregon program history. You get to the game, you get to this moment that you hype up and build up for so long, you wait for so long, and then you immediately throw a pick six on the first play of the game, bounce back strong, and then that that happens. You fumble, you mess up an RPO, and ah, that's just so sad, bro. I feel bad. Like that's just so freaking sad. Man, I don't even know what to say about that. Mm-mm-mm. 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 But yeah, it's crazy. It really is insane just how a couple plays have completely shifted this game. That's just the reality of playoff football when you have two teams who are both very good. You can't have those miscues like that, you know? You cannot have miscues like that. So that's a killing blow in the Peach Bowl for the Oregon Ducks, who trail 21-7 in this one. Really, really rough start for them. And yeah, 8:17 to go in the second quarter. Again, the game isn't over yet. They still have a shot, but it's just like, man, I gotta feel for them. Like that is brutal, brutal, brutal. Oh, Dan Lanning. We'll see what they can do, though. Again, they're not out of it yet. This game is very much still up for grabs. I mean, they can still make it happen, but this drive just becomes all the more important, or else you risk an Indiana route. And we know the Hoosiers are capable of doing that. They're not going to let off the gas. They're going to keep playing at a high level. Is that Jordan Davidson? Yeah, they could definitely use him. Yeah, it's him. Davidson, their young, talented running back. So, first down and 10. They're missing two running backs. Lamar is in the transfer portal. He had a couple good games this season for them, 260 rushing yards, and then obviously Davidson, one of their lead backs. Handoff left side and stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Indiana. And remember as well, Noah Whittington is banged up already as well. So yeah, their running back room, their running back depth is really, really depleted right now. That's what I'm saying. Like Whittington's barely been out there. Second down and 10 from the 25. Dante Moore, four-man rush. Moore steps up. Pass is caught. First down, Ducks. To the 45-yard line, it's Harris. He's been their main offensive target tonight. And a run to Harris this time gets about 6. So here's a 2nd down and 3. And here we go. 2nd down and 3 for Oregon. They are in the middle of the field at the 42. Moore drops back, well protected, looking and sacked. He had a lot of time, but eventually no one was open and Indiana got home. And that is a huge sack for the Hoosiers. 6.5 to play in this quarter. Ratcliffe came in. And this crowd that is definitely around 80 to 90% Indiana fans erupts as they can sense blood in the water with this Oregon Ducks team. And that defensive lineman, Ratcliffe, was knocked down at the start of the play, but he ends up finding his way to Dante Moore, who slammed into the turf at the end. 3rd down and 12 for Oregon. From the 38, play clock down, empty set, Dante Moore. 5-man rush coming. Moore is gonna be sacked again. Unbelievable Indiana defense. And they are gonna force another punt in this game. They're so disciplined. They're just gonna keep on sending everything they have at you. And Oregon looks completely overwhelmed. They got both linebackers. They send them on little stunts here, little linebacker stunts. Pocket collapses, and Dante Moore tried to step up, had nowhere to go. 4th and 18. They'll punt the football away. So Oregon, they just said the stat. 18 sacks allowed on the season, 8 of them against the Hoosiers. That is unbelievable. Here's the return to the 30, down the sideline, and they're going to be around the 38-yard line. Indiana will get the football up 21-7. Unbelievable, this team. Their defense is nasty. Their offense is nasty. Everything about this team is amazing. They truly are just so complete. Again, them versus Miami in the national championship, if they end up closing this one out strong. Dude, the trench battle in that game is going to be insane. And I think Indiana wins the trench battle, if we're being honest. I think they're going to win the trench battle. Miami's defensive line was neutralized at times last night against Trinidad Chambliss. And I think that offensive line versus Indiana's D-line and Kurt Signetti calling all, with all the stunts and all that stuff, all the pressures, the exotic blitzes. That's going to be a really insane matchup. But at the end of the day, Fernando Mendoza over Carson Beck. But then you got Malachi Toney, the ultimate X factor. So I really don't. That would be a crazy game. Oregon just doesn't look like they have it tonight. Look, you've turned the ball over 2 times. Both of them have directly resulted in 7 points for Indiana, and it's just like this. And you're also just being out physicaled. So it's one of those things where it's like you can't turn the ball over and play sloppy football while also getting destroyed in the physical game. Like last night, Miami. Were they the most? Miami played sloppy football last night. They dropped 1 million interceptions. Had a ton of miscues throughout the game, and yet they still won. Why? Because you know what? When it came down to it, Miami was the more physical football team. They ran the football extremely well the whole game. They imposed their will on Ole Miss. They leaned on Mark Fletcher in the ground game. And then when Carson Beck was called upon, he made the throws that were needed. That was the difference, and that's why Miami won the game. They were the more physical team, despite the mistakes. Right now, Oregon's making all the mistakes, and they're also getting destroyed in the physical game by Indiana on the defensive line and offensive line side of things. And not to mention They have a quarterback advantage too. So I mean, yeah, it's just it really is just all Indiana right now. If you guys are listening again, be sure to click the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. On the road to 2,000 subs. Really like to hit that at some point in the future. It's a big goal. So if you guys are listening, again, you enjoyed listening to NFL playoff streams coming up, please do. Yeah, click the sub button. It really helps me out. Exclusive playoff game tomorrow. I might have to stream that one because I know a lot of people. There's people who don't have Amazon Prime and won't be able to watch that game tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna stream Bears Packers so people can listen in who don't have Amazon Prime or don't have it. Yeah, I'll be sure to stream that and hopefully a lot of people will be able to listen and watch or not watch but like listen to the commentary for the game and know what's going on. Here we go. Indiana with the football at the 39. Mendoza drops back. Check down to Roman Emby, and he is taken down by Bocher there. Oker, the linebacker. I swear he's been all over the field tonight, reading plays, making tackles. He's a great player. He's had a really good game, in my opinion. He's been balling out there. Second down and 10 now for Indiana. They didn't get much out of that last play. Indiana is the best turnover margin team in the FBS at plus 20, which is insane. They're great at not getting penalized. They're amazing. Second and 10, Mendoza, left side of the field. It is caught. One-on-one contested catch by Elijah Surratt. A flag flies in, and this is going to be pass interference. And it's going to be defensive pass interference on Oregon. The penalty will be declined, and Indiana will just get the first down. So what a play there by Elijah Surratt to box out the corner, make a really tough contested catch when there was some contact. It's, again, a great grab by him on this left side of the field. It's a little hand fighting. Gets up in the jersey. I don't know. It necessarily PI, not like it matters. First and 10, Mendoza stays behind the line of scrimmage and hits Omar Cooper. So Mendoza just, was patient, waited for the window to really open up there, and then finally made his strike to his man Cooper. Second down coming up for Indiana. They're moving it down the field. A field goal gives you a 3-score lead. Cignetti, we'll see how he handles this if he tries to run the football and get that clock down. And remember, Indiana also gets the ball at a halftime. It really is just not looking good for Oregon. Here's Mendoza. Play action. Protected. Going deep. Down the field. And it is caught. Touchdown Hoosiers. Charlie Becker. It's around in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl. Hoosier fans, you are not dreaming. This team. You demand Evan. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Everybody who's listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. Again, really helps out the channel. Hook 'em horns, yes, sir. Always. Horns up, baby. Oh, my gosh, bro. Indiana is genuinely... Wow. Yeah, if you are listening again, be sure to click the subscribe button. It helps out the channel. Unbelievable. It is 28-7. It is a complete rout of Oregon right now. Holy cow, dude. This game is just... I can't believe it, bro. This is another just great contested grab by Becker. Sarah just made the catch earlier in the drive, and now that, it's just... Wow, bro. Well, Oregon is in a to say that to say Oregon's in trouble right now is wow. This team is insane, bro. This team is just insane, bro. It's 28-7, handoff left side. Oregon is in just a world of hurt and trouble right now. They are getting their butts kicked up and down this football field. They're down 28-7, 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Second and 6 from the 29. Moore takes the snap, 4-man rush. Dante pressured, sack, fumble. No way. Did they get it? And they do! A strip sack! This is just an unreal final couple of minutes to this first half. Have completely shifted this game from Indiana lead to Indiana blowout. That is Oregon's third turnover the first half. And Dante Moore. This team is, yeah, I don't even, bro. Indiana will get the football. Roman Emby didn't get it. Fernando Mendoza staying on his feet on the read option, and he will go down. This has just been ridiculous. Yeah. If you are listening, click the subscribe button. Indiana really is closing in on a. They're just tearing through everybody right now. Here's a handoff up the middle, so it is second down and short. Honestly, fellas, the way that this game is trending, the rest of this stream may just end up being, if you guys are active in chat, this will be an Evan talk stream, along with just calling a little bit of the game, because this game is just completely non-competitive at this point. I mean, we're watching a game that's just gotten so ugly, so out of hand, so quickly. But yeah, Indiana's just come into this game with mean intentions, and they've bullied Oregon from the start of this game. They've bullied them in the trenches thoroughly. That's what's been just so impressive is they bully teams, man. Third down and 3. And Mendoza bubbles pass, orbit pass out to the side. It's a first down for Indiana. Is that D'Angelo Pons? They just brought in their CB1 as wide receiver, dude. Cignetti's just trolling at this point. That's so funny. Travis Hunter, First down and goal coming up, and they can make this a 35-7 game. This is just unreal. But yeah, if you guys want to chat it up and talk about football in the chat, dude, I'm always down for sure. But yeah, Indiana's defense has forced 3 turnovers in this first half, all deep in the Oregon territory. Besides the pick six, just got it done, right? The pick six was just 7 points off rip. But yeah, this has been insane. Dante Moore, that one fumble on the RPO was so bad. And then, yeah, he got strip sacked. And I tell you what, man, the playoffs are supposed to try to elevate people's draft stock. It's definitely up 5 TFLs, 3 sacks. What the dude? But it can also, because it gives you a chance to really evaluate players in crunch time moments, which matters in the NFL. Well, Dante Moore's draft stock not going up because of the playoffs. First and goal from the 9, and Mendoza will just hand it off up the middle. Hemby to the end zone. Did he drag himself in with the help of the line? I don't think he did. He was a little short, but he was bursting through the hole there, and I thought maybe he could get in, but he did not. He's a little short. So Oregon used 2 timeouts already. They're outgained in the first half by 100 yards, and that's with Indiana having multiple turnovers deep in Oregon territory. That's how bad this first half has gone for the Ducks. Started rough with the pick 6, really good response drive, and then Indiana has 21 unanswered. And now at the 1-yard line, they toss it to Hemby, and he is gonna be stuffed at about a yard loss there. So I give it to him there. A good run stop. Again, you gotta just try to do your best. Lanning's gonna call a timeout with 1 minute and 1 second to go. Yeah, Dan Lanning. Look, Dan Lanning's a really interesting coach to me. I think Dan Lanning's a good football coach. I think he's a great recruiter. He's got hella resources. He's a motivator. He's gonna get his team up. But okay, you made the Final Four this season, but it's just seasons like this, when you end the way that, if you end off like this, it really does leave a sour taste in every Oregon fan's mouth. Right? It really does. If you end the season like this, yes, you won your first playoff game and all that, but it's this is brutal. And if you really look at Oregon State's schedule, again, Indiana, by the way, Oregon lost the Rose Bowl and ended their season last year with a 20-point blowout to Ohio State in a game where they trailed 35-0, I believe, at one point. That's brutal. Third and goal from the 2. Mendoza in shotgun. Takes the snap. Mendoza, slant pass, caught. Sarrett, was he in? They'll say he was. Touchdown, Indiana. And the lead's up to 35-7 if they make the PAT. It was close. I don't know. They're going to review it and see if he got across there. But that is this. Oh my gosh. He's in. That's a tutty. He stayed up. He's in, bro. He's up. Wait, unless that's the shin that goes down. Oh, wait. That's. We'll see. Jeez, man. We'll see what they call. It's really close. He might be short though. The ball is like right there. It's close. I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna stick with the call on the field. Yeah, I thought so. It was close. It looked like right as he went down, the ball was just starting to cross the pylon. I didn't think they were gonna overturn it, and they didn't. If you guys are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. Another Indiana touchdown, a 35-7 lead. I mean, just belt, 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 belt. But for Oregon, it's like this is brutal, right? This is about to be your second consecutive season where it's like you had a good season, you had a good regular season. I mean, last year Oregon won the Big Ten, right? PAT's good, but when you end your season in this fashion, where it's like blowouts, two straight bad blowouts to fellow Big Ten teams, it's like okay, well, I don't like that at all. That's really bad. And so for Dan Lanning, it's like questions do have to be asked, like why do you back to back years does your team play so unbelievably bad and make so many bad mistakes in the biggest games of the season, right? It's weird. It's something that will definitely be discussed in the off season, but this is just man, it's just they're getting outclassed, outplayed. Look, the game in Eugene, it was competitive, at least from what I remember. It was a pretty competitive football game. Indiana got out of there with a win. Everybody was like, okay, Indiana's pretty good this year. And if you look at Oregon's schedule this year, like, were they really. Okay, they beat Tech. They're a good team. Oregon was definitely a good football team this year. But were they as good as people thought? I don't know. I mean, last year Oregon had that win over Ohio State. This year, who did Oregon beat? Oklahoma State, Montana State, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State in overtime in that big whiteout game. Look, I think that what I will say, no matter it was an overtime game, but it's a whiteout game. That was their big win. I'll give it to them because you know what? That was a tough road environment, and at the time, that Penn State team wasn't very good, but they were healthy and they were legitimately like a pretty solid team at that point. Once, you know, they lost after that, everything kind of spiraled out of control, but they weren't an awful, awful team at that point until eventually everything just kind of went to crap. But yeah, just a lot of very unimpressive wins. Here's Dante Moore scrambling outside, throwing deep down the field. Incomplete. Again, where's DeCorian Moore? I have not seen him targeted. Like Wisconsin, I remember they barely escaped Iowa with a win. That's a pretty solid win. They barely escaped on the road, but hey, it's a tough ranked game. I'll give them that. They won that. They beat USC, decent little win there. Beat Washington. Okay, so just a bunch of solid wins. They were a good team this year. There's no doubt, but it's just like I think what's going to frustrate Oregon fans is, yeah, by the way, if you're all listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. I think what's going to frustrate Oregon fans is like, you're just not there yet. Second down and 10 from the 25. Dante Moore, four-man rush, looking, pressure, throw over the middle, pass caught, first down. Benson to the 40. Like, you're just not, these last 2 years have shown, like, you're recruiting great talent, but you're not on par with these top elite teams yet if you're getting blown out like this. First and 10, three-man rush. Moore rushing away. That's going to be a big hole as they'll throw the ball out of bounds. That's going to back them up and really kill any sort of chance here, in my opinion. Like, it's like, that's got to be a tough realization. It's like, you've had recruiting well because of all the, the Phil Knight, Nike money. It's like, okay, like, you've had the talent coming in, but it's just something's missing that allows teams like Indiana and Ohio State to steamroll you. Last year, okay, maybe Ohio State was just a better team. Maybe they're just maybe they were just there's another injury. It's Kamara down. Like maybe just I don't know. They were just better. They had more talent. Maybe Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Emeka Egbuka. They were unstoppable, right? I mean that's just who they were last year. But this year it's like okay, the talent isn't the issue. Now it's like well you're just getting outcoached and just flat out destroyed, right? I mean, Ohio State last year whooped the crap out of them. Indiana right now is also beating them in every phase of the game. Oh, wow. This is insane. Again, it's hard to just like grasp what's happening right now with Indiana. This team is just a freaking freight train, steamrolling teams in front of them. They look unbeatable. We'll see if Dante Moore and the Oregon offense can try to cook something up. First and 20 from their own 29. You definitely just don't want to turn the football over. Four-man rush. The stunt gets through, and it makes Dante Moore inaccurate. Another misfire from Moore, who's had a disastrous first half. I mean, he fumbled a strip sack. That's unfortunate. It was blindside pressure. It's really not, or it was not blindside. It was pressure off the edge. That's tough. Look, I won't. That's unfortunate. The pick six was really bad. Really, really, really bad. And then obviously, the fumble with the running back was comical. They throw a screen pass here to Hill. So Oregon, definitely not a good final game for Will Stein, their offensive coordinator who accepted his position at the University of Kentucky. He'll be in the SEC next year coaching the Wildcats, who parted ways with their longtime head coach Mark Stoops. 3rd and 7, Moore down the middle, pass caught to the 40. Now I think about at the 38 or 37 yard line. And the clock will run when they get back to the line. So maybe they can try for a field goal. Hail Mary, I'm not sure. They'll spike it with about 3 seconds left in the half. They're at the 38 yard line. Is this Atticus Sappington's field goal range? And I mean, I feel like a field goal just doesn't really do much for you. You'd still be down 25 if he makes it, but at the end of the day, you got to get points on the board as well. So I don't really know it. I just don't know. Anyways. Atticus Sappington, 2nd down and 10. He will kick the field goal. His career long was earlier this season against the Huskies, 51 yards. And this is 56. This is 5 yards past his career long. Does Atticus have a couple extra yards in him to make this? Oh boy, that play clock's low. They get the snap off in time. Atticus is kicked. Does he have the leg? He does not. It was short. He drove it well. It looked like he had the accuracy, but it's short of the goalpost, and that'll end a dominant first half for Indiana, who leads 35-7, and they get the football out of half. Just complete and utter domination from the Hoosiers. Yeah, if you guys are listening again, click the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. What a first half for Indiana. I genuinely just cannot believe what I've been watching. It's been incredible. Curt Cignetti, 15 to score 35 plus points in the first half of a CFP game. How amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you're Oregon, it's like a lot of those guys. I wonder what's going through the guys on this Oregon roster and Dan Lanning's head as well right now. I mean, this is the second straight year that this has happened where you have just been demoralized and punched and beat down in the first half of a playoff game, of a win or go home football game. This is really rough. I got to feel for Oregon fans at this point. I would hate to see this happen to my Longhorns. We've lost playoff games in heartbreaking fashion the past couple seasons, and it's been really close, hard-fought battles till the final quarter, final frame. And then, I don't know. And then the flip side of things, like, you hate those losses, but then games like this, like, where you're not even competitive, it's just like, wow. This is brutal. Dominant first half from Indiana, though. Completely dominant. They were elite. If you guys listening, click the subscribe button. They truly do look like a team that's just playing at another level than everybody else right now, which is, again, super impressive. I'm really impressed with what they've been able to do this season. Um, and yeah, I don't. Man, it's ridiculous, right? So, anyways, at the end of the day, it's pretty obvious that this team is special. Indiana is a very good program now, and yeah, it's just a beatdown. For Dan Lanning, though, in Oregon, it's like, where do you go from here, right? Obviously, in this game, you try to compete and get back into it and make it something, right? I mean, you got the talent to. If you think your quarterback's that guy, you got to trust him. But your offensive line's getting beat down. I think that's the main issue right now. The turnovers are killers. The night started off bad with the pick six, but it's like, dude, your offensive line's getting destroyed. And that's the issue. In my opinion, I think that's been the biggest issue in this game. Turnovers and offensive line play. Um, well, anyways, it's been brutal. If you guys are in the chat though right now, hey, if you hop in the chat, ask me some questions about football. We got NFL playoff games that I would love to deep dive into. The national championship's already set, so I could obviously talk about that matchup. Whatever y'all want to hear, man, just drop it in the chat as we just wait for the second half. Because I love talking ball. So if anybody has anything they want to say, hey man, say in the chat. I'm always down. I mean, yeah, I'm always down to talk ball. Always, 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 always. I love talking football. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world to do. So, yeah, if anybody does want to say something in the chat, I mean, yeah, please do. Because, like, yeah, I am just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just excited though. Again, I really do. But yeah, also if y'all are listening and enjoying what you're listening to, click the subscribe button. Again, really does help out the channel on the road to 2,000 subs. Um, so be sure to also contribute in that way. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. This game has been really kind of, I don't know. It's a game. I thought it was gonna be more competitive than this. But yet it's just been complete BTA. Yeah, the game's over pretty much. Yeah, I mean it's been complete BTA. It shocked me. I definitely did not expect this game to be where it's at right now. I thought this was gonna be really. I thought it'd be more. I thought Indiana would win, but it'd be similar to the first matchup where like it'd be kind of close. But it has not been that way whatsoever. And so yeah, big yikes on that front. And so. But yeah, if y'all want to talk about the Natty because Indiana and it's gonna be Indiana Miami, or if y'all want me to talk about the playoff games in the NFL that are going on here pretty soon. Tomorrow there's two games for the NFC, Packers and Bears, Rams and Panthers. Mark Cuban NIL money. Yep. I mean, dude, that's a big part of the game. I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing in college football the teams that have that bread and are investing in the transfer portal are the teams that are getting it done. We know Oregon's pockets are deep. We know Indiana's pockets are getting deeper by the day with the program. All these, until there is truly an NIL like safeguard, it's going to be this way. Look, one thing that these billionaires and all these rich people love to do is they love influence and they love control. At the end of the day, does Mark Cuban care as much about Indiana football? I doubt it. I bet Cuban hasn't really paid that much attention in the years where they were trash. I'm gonna be honest, he probably didn't pay that much attention. Now that he has a chance to control or help control the outcome on the field, spread some of that influence around, I bet he is now more invested and now he cares. He's like, okay, well, now I can make a difference um, directly. Hey, that quarterback, I helped pay for him getting him on campus. He's there because of me. Something they can brag about amongst their billionaire friends. Cody Campbell at Texas Tech is bragging about it all the time about how he literally is just going to keep spending money to buy them an offensive line and buy them whatever the hell they need to win. Um, It's funny when Tech scored 0 points the other day, but I mean, if we're being honest, Texas Tech's probably gonna reload and be good. I mean, we've seen them in the portal already. They're doing what they need to do to be great. But yeah, if y'all are listening though, click that subscribe button. It really does help out that channel a lot. My channel a lot. Anyways, yeah, just I don't know, man. I'm shocked, but at the same time, the way that Indiana's been playing this game was definitely possible. I mean, we saw what they did to Alabama. Thought Oregon would put up more of a fight than that. Um, but yeah, well, I guess we were wrong, right? So see you, bro. Have a good one. Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, anybody who's still here though, like I said, I love talking ball, man. Give me something to talk about sports related, man. Please, football specifically. Um, I love to. I don't know. Transfer portal's been crazy lately. A lot of guys have entered. Texas has been active. We need to keep being active and make sure that we get the guys that we need to go get. I think it's very clear going forward. I think Texas is going to probably adopt the new method. I think Texas. I think we're probably we got a lot of high school talent this year, but I think going forward, and it's really unfortunate for high school football players. But the reality is the blueprint has been laid out by Indiana. Why get those 3 and 4 star recruits when you can go get college players who are just more ready to contribute from day one. So it's like now, well, Texas is probably going to go for the best players in the country, the Jermaine Bishops, the Tyler Atkinsons, the Diabells that we got this year. And then from there, the rest of the guys are going to be portal. The guys who don't start day one, you know, like the guys who are able to start day one, or have a chance to contribute day one, they'll come to Texas and they'll play. And then if not, well, because what's happening right now, if you've looked at the rosters of a lot of these blue blood and big time programs that have been getting those top classes, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, not Indiana, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, um, Oklahoma hasn't really been getting top class lately, but they've lost a lot of guys too. Alabama, all these programs. Look at all those guys that have entered the portal from these teams. Texas has lost so many young players who had potential to contribute in the future, but haven't contributed yet. And they're going to, sit down at the end of the year and negotiate with the general manager and the coaching staff and be like, well, I think I'm worth this because I'm this potential. And I was a 4-star recruit out of high school. Well, it's like you haven't done anything for the program yet, but your potential's there. Well, Texas can't afford to pay you yet because you yeah, we'll be right back in this. If y'all listening, yeah, click the sub button. Please help my boy out. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, a team will pay you more money than Texas will because your potential's high, but Texas has to pay their guys who are already good. Colin Simmons is an already contributing player. Jamie French, I mean, did he have one catch this year maybe? Like he didn't do anything this year. He has a lot of potential. Jamie French could be really good in the future, but we have a receiver room where we already have Ryan Wingo. We already have Emmett Mosley. We already have Khalil Lockett, who's taken your spot. Khalil Lockett and Dalen McCutcheon, who are from the same class as you, and they've gotten more snaps already. So they're already ahead of you on the depth chart from your class. The reality is, I think that the days of those types of recruiting classes for Texas and teams like that are gone. I think that Texas is probably not going to be a team that does that anymore. And I think a lot of the other top teams and big brands are going to follow suit. You're going to go for the portal. And a lot of these high school kids who are 3 and 4 stars, look, the reality is if big time programs don't think you can develop day one, you're going to have to go to the smaller programs. And maybe, in the past, Texas would have taken that 4-star wide receiver from Cedar Hill or whatever. But hey, maybe not anymore. If they don't think you can contribute day one, then, well, you're probably – because the reality is, what's the point of getting you to sign the dotted line right now if you're just going to end up transferring anyway, right? Like, you're going to end up at the destination you probably should have ended up at a high school anyways. The way that college football is probably going to work from now on is those recruits, the high 4 stars, the guys who are probably not going to start day one at the big programs are going to go to smaller schools, Big 12, low ACC, low Big 10, ball out there, try to get their bags up from those schools at a high school, get their bags up, and then when they have a good season and they develop, the big schools will come calling, give you the bags you want, and then you end up playing big-time college football. Now, there are exceptions, right? There are the Malachi Tonys of the world. Malachi Tony wasn't a 5-star out of high school. He's one of the best players in the country. I mean, hey, that's just sometimes how it works out. Those guys sometimes just fall in your lap. Some 5-stars bust. I mean, Oregon, Jurion Dickey was a 5-star and supposed to be one of their best players going forward. Guess what? Jurion Dickey is transferring to some random school. I don't even know where he's going. And then you got Malachi Tony, who was a 3-star, and he's one of the most electric and best players in the sport that we love. So it is random, but it is just going to be so much more. There's just going to be so much more of an emphasis on the transfer portal going forward. And it's going to have a big domino effect on high school kids who are just, again, at the big schools. You're probably not going to be recruited as heavily by these big schools unless they think you can contribute day one, because the blueprint has been set where it's now like, okay, well, the portal's like this. It's all about getting guys who are ready to compete now. It's already been kind of a thing in college basketball, and it's become a thing in football this year. I mean, the portal's just going to get crazier and crazier going forward. So, I mean, it is what it is. And obviously it sucks. Like Texas, you know what does suck, though, is like what I've loved about college football since I've been watching this sport for over 10 years now. Obviously, my dad and all the adults, all y'all, a lot of y'all who are probably adults, or maybe probably been watching way longer than me, right? Like that was probably one of the fun parts of college football is like you get a kid, you see the flashes that he has as a freshman in a bowl game when bowl games used to mean something, and you saw them develop, and then you got excited about the potential the next 2 years. Or you landed a big-time recruit, and it's like, oh, I'm super excited to see this kid through all 3 years, all 4 years, depending on the time line with him. And now it's like, well, now it's like you get a 5-star recruit, and it's like, well, if you see flashes from them in the bowl game, they'll probably end up transferring. If they're either A, not guaranteed a starting role their sophomore year, or B, NIL negotiations don't go well with them in the offseason. Like, that's what kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's what sucks about all this. Is like it's hard to – rosters are just getting turned upside down every year. That's why I'm grateful for guys like Arch Manning. Arch Manning didn't play the first 2 years of his college career. No other 5-star quarterback would have sat through that. None. I think Arch is the only 5-star quarterback from his class who didn't transfer. And he ended up sitting a long time, too. Because guys want to get on the field and make that bread immediately. Guys aren't patient. And you know what? Some guys don't have to worry about making the league or going crazy and, not worried about the best situation for them to get to the NFL, because you can make so much money from college football that can set you up for life pretty much, right? So now Arch is a different situation as well. I understand, look, the Mannings are rich. Arch was never going to struggle. And I get it. For some of these, athletes and some of these guys, it's like, well, they've never seen that type of money in their life. Like, you might as well capitalize now. And I get that, right? I 100% get that. You know what I mean? But, yeah, from that 2023 recruiting class, you look at the top recruits. I'll just scroll through these top recruits. I'll read off all these 5-stars from that class. This is one of the first recruiting classes that I really paid attention to thoroughly. Number one player, and this is based off 247's rankings. Arch Manning, he's still with the Texas Longhorns. Nico Iamaleava transferred from Tennessee to UCLA. after starting 1 year with Tennessee. Keon Keeley just hit the portal from Alabama. Dante Moore signed with UCLA. He's at Oregon starting tonight. Caden Proctor, still at Alabama. Francis Maugia, he's still at Miami, playing in the national championship game next Monday. Zachariah Branch started 2 years at USC, transferred over to Georgia, played in the playoffs this year. Caleb Downs, Alabama his freshman year. Saban retired. He went to Ohio State, won a natty, going to be a first-round draft pick. Look, Caleb Downs is an example of what the portals should be about. He played a year at Alabama. Saban left. He left. I get that, right? I mean, look, again, you're committing to a school. I get that. But a big part of the school is the coaching staff. And Caleb Downs did get that immediate playing time. But, I mean, hey, he transferred to a situation that was more stable at that time. And it worked out for him. If you are listening, by the way, please click the subscribe button. Now you have two Oklahoma guys, PJ Adebawore and Jackson Arnold. I really don't know. I think PJ is still at Oklahoma and just hasn't done anything under Venables. And Jackson Arnold is about to play for his third college football team in what is this? Is this gonna be? Wait, this will be year 4 for all these guys going next year. Next year will be year 4 because like Downs went 3 and done. Maugi is gonna go 3 and done, I think. But like a guy, okay, yeah. So Jackson Arnold, this will be his third team in 4 years. He was at OU his freshman year, didn't play. He sat behind Dylan Gabriel. Then he had the second year where he started, got benched for Hawkins, then started at the end of the year. He sucked, and ended up transferring to Auburn last year. He sucked and got benched again. Now he's on the move to UNLV. So there's Jackson Arnold, portal bum. DJ Hicks at A&M. Did he transfer? Did DJ Hicks transfer? Or is he? I think he's stuck it out with the Aggies. Then you have Jordan Hall, who I believe just entered the portal from Georgia. Malachi Nelson. If you know Malachi Nelson's played for a new team every single year. Portal demon. Cormani McClain transferred to, I believe, Florida, not mistaken. Or maybe Florida State. One of the Florida schools, right? Didn't he? Yeah, he's at Florida. Then you got Nick Harbor. He's actually stuck it out with SC. Lance Hurd. He's been really good, but he just transferred. He's entered the portal. I think Lance has been in the portal. He's crystal balled to Tennessee, I think. Or has he been? Wait, he's been at Tennessee. Didn't he transfer to Tennessee? Dude, I'm lost with this guy. Anthony Hill ended up actually playing all 3 years at Texas, and now he's going to be a top draft pick. So good for him. Jurion Dickey transferred from Oregon because he sucked. Deuce Robinson transferred from USC to Florida State. Samson Unkulola, I'm not sure. Is he still at Miami? He is still at Miami, apparently. Good for him. Big stud right there. Let's see who else. You got Braylon Wilson. I think he's still at Georgia. Carnell Tate still at Ohio State. Centurion Perkins is still at Ole Miss. Hakeem Williams, I'm not sure. But going through that list, then there's Aguero and Jan Pierre. They're still at Bama. CJ Baxter, no longer at Texas, sadly. Ruben Owens is still at A&M. Justin Haynes, not at Alabama, and he's about to transfer from Michigan. So I'm going through this list, and it's like, yeah, there's so many guys who have transferred. Arch is one of the only quarterbacks who hasn't transferred. Because that's the reality, right? If you're a 5-star, like Houston Longstreet is an example of this. USC quarterback. 5-star, didn't play his freshman year. Jaden Mayava's coming back. He's not going to sit that second year because he's ready to be the starter and get paid that starter money, hit the portal off potential only without taking a college snap or not doing anything. I get it, right? No one wants to sit for 2 years, but it's just the reality of it sometimes, right? I mean, it's just, it's just how it is, right? College football is a crazy sport. If you are listening, yeah, be sure to click the subscribe button, though. Again, it really helps out the channel. But that's just the reality of the sport right now. It's just how it is. It's really tough to retain those talents because, again, if you're not going to get a guy who's going to start day one, well, then eventually a team's going to come calling based off their high school potential, offer them more money, and that's where attrition comes in. And, again, Texas has lost guys to the portal this year. Some guys who probably weren't going to get meaningful PT next year. Some guys who may have, and some guys who had a lot of potential. We have 2 guys in the portal right now, Zena Amozolo and Elijah Bo Barnes, 2 guys who I was really excited about for the future of our program. I saw their commitments. I saw their commitments through. I was really, really excited when they landed with Texas, and um, you know, I'm sad. I was really, I was really sad when and I was really sad, right? I was really sad when um to see them both go. But yeah, that's just yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Zena might come back. I've heard reports that Texas is gonna try to get him back. Bo Barnes, don't know if he's gonna come back. He showed again when I mentioned that thing about the flashes in the bowl game. That's one of the guys I'm talking about. Bo Barnes was supposed to be a future guy for us, and then he had showed good flashes in the bowl game, and now he's gone. He's in the portal, and he'll probably end up at like Kentucky or something. I think that's where he's visiting. So it sucks. You just don't get to see as many developmental projects through anymore because guys want to get paid. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about for a lot of these guys: getting paid and getting playing time. So it is what it is. 1 half of football to go. Indiana gets the football at a half, and it's almost milk and cookies time already in this game. It has been a blowout. We'll see what happens though. Here we go. 15 minutes to play. Indiana gets the football to start the second half. It is all red and white in the stands today. I again got a shout out to the Hoosiers. And so there's y'all's little college football rundown, little bit of kind of a state of college football address, if you call it there, from me on that one. Oregon's only losing the game because their quarterback sucks. Very true. Dante Moore has been really bad. Will say he's had no help from his O line. Ohio State had that same problem. Are you talking about Ohio State's portal? Because Ohio State is having the same problem as Texas with the development, if that's what you're referring to. They were able to get Bo Jackson back. They re-signed him. But yeah, Ohio State's lost multiple five-star wide receivers to the portal who were guys who were 100% going to contribute in the future, and they left. False start in Indiana start the half. If that's what you're referring to, Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham, again, both guys who are going to contribute to Ohio State in the future. Part of it could be because Brian Hartline left for USF, but at the end of the day, probably because teams are willing to offer that money. You know what I mean? Handoff left side to I think that's MB. That's just I mean yeah, that's what happened to Ohio State. They've dealt with it a lot too. The attrition that they've dealt with is really bad. Um, yeah, so if y'all listening again, please be sure to click the subscribe button, help out the channel. But that is just true, right? Like Ohio State, all those guys, some of those guys could have been the next big time contributors. You know, maybe they wouldn't have been Jeremiah Smith, but they definitely could have been Emeka Buka, Carnell Tate types. And well, Ohio State can't afford to keep them because guess what? Jeremiah Smith is back for one more year. Second and 13, Mendoza left side fires a confident strike to Elijah Sarrett, who makes the first down reception. It's like you're just not going to see as many of those developmental stories anymore because, and that's true. You know what's also true though for those guys is, well, you know what? Yeah, it's true. Those guys are going to go into year 2 in the program. It's like, well, you're not guaranteed playing time. You're a 5-star out of high school. You're used to being the best player on your team your whole life, and now all of a sudden you got Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Inniss in front of you. They're probably talking about bringing in experienced receivers from the portal as well. It's also that too. Like the players got to do what's best for them if they're not guaranteed PT, because hey, they might also just replace you in the portal. As Roman Hemby up the middle stuffed. There's just no guarantees in college football anymore. If you're not just a it really is like if you're not Jeremiah Smith type of talent, like it's you can get easily replaced. And again, Jamie French, when he entered the transfer portal, like I was sad to see him go, but I knew it was probably gonna happen. I mean, he didn't get much playing time this year for Texas his freshman year, and he was behind two guys in the depth chart who were already in his class, not to mention all the upperclassmen in front of him. It's like it only makes sense for him to transfer, right? I bet a team like Florida State would love to get him. 2nd and 9, Mendoza fires a great strike outside to Charlie Becker. Mendoza just throws passes on an absolute rope using that arm talent, and he makes great throws like that. So it makes sense. But yeah, I hope Texas can get Zeno Moslow back. He showed a lot of promise, and again, you need depth in the SEC, especially in the trenches. It really, really helps. He's not going to start next year. Simmons and Lance Jackson are probably the guys, but Zena is definitely a very good depth piece to have in the rotation. I really hope we can keep him. Bo Barnes, we have a deeper linebacker. We should have a deeper linebacker room once the portal's over. So Bo Barnes, well, I hate to lose him. We have a very good linebacker coming in Tyler Atkinson. As there's Kalen Black dancing around, I think he got the first down. It's just that's just how it is, right? You got Bo Barnes is great, and I would love to keep him. He'd be a great player to have, but it's like, well, you know what? We'll see what happens. Mendoza rolling out to his left, going to step up and run. Fernando Mendoza. Again, another touchdown. I got to think Mendoza's coming out of this game for, rest up for the Natty at that point. Second down and 5. Second and 5. Handoff up the middle, and they're stuffed. And Mendoza taking off on 3rd and 7, running, and he loses the football, but Indiana jumps on it. It's just been that type of night for Oregon. The ball bounces Indiana's way on that one. Oh my gosh. First and 10, handoff up the middle. But yeah, that's definitely the motto of college football going forward is production over potential. It's unfortunate for the high school kids, but it's just the way of the sport nowadays. 2nd and 9 from the 17, a handoff up the middle, Hemby. And so, the interesting thing as well is, who's portaling from Oregon tomorrow? Tomorrow morning, the portal will open up for every Oregon player. And now they'll all have to make decisions on their future, right? Some of those young guys, Decorian Moore, not seeing him do too much tonight. Is he a guy who hops in there? He'd be highly sought after for sure off of potential. 3rd and 5. Fernando Mendoza in empty, looking over the middle to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Indiana. And this game has just continued to turn all Indiana's way. EJ Williams reels it in. And if you're an Oregon fan right now, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. You might as well just leave. There's no point. Indiana is just, I accidentally put up a score for Oregon. I'm sorry. You might as well just leave if you're an Oregon fan, bro. This game has gotten so out of hand. It's gonna be 42-7. Rochester PAT is good, and Indiana has just obliterated this poor team, dude. Wow. You are watching dominance, boys. You're watching a team that could be talked about for many years. But yeah, I think this will also bring a lot more parity to college football. You know, with the portal, it balances things out. A lot of guys are going to go to different places, and that's what I've been saying. Um, is look, the reality is a lot of the great teams that we've seen, you're not going to see as many of those teams like 2021 Georgia or 2019 LSU, where it's like, well, even the freaking backups were elite superstars because like a lot of those, like I just mentioned, I went on that rant about. It's like those 5-star guys, those elite depth pieces are going to go elsewhere, um, because they can get more money and more immediate playing time at other schools instead of just being backups at Bama and Georgia and just chilling and developing. It's not the way of the game anymore. College football is changing. Um, if you are listening to the stream, enjoy. Click the subscribe button. Indiana, just it's been domination. I genuinely think it's time to pull Mendoza and everybody, and don't risk an injury because Oregon just doesn't have a freaking clue. They've been destroyed. They've been getting destroyed since the first play of the game when Moore threw the pick six, and it's just gotten worse ever since. Indiana football really is on another level, though. Oh man, yeah, I just don't know if Mendoza or Beck or any of these guys are gonna do it. I think Oregon's just they got it done, bro. Handoff here, and that is gonna be a big play for Oregon. Huge run. That could be a touchdown. All the way down to the 5-yard line goes Hill. Huge run for Oregon, and they finally have something going. So De'Ara Hill Jr. with a 71-yard run. So there we go. Oregon showing a little bit of life for the first time in years. And here we go. First and goal from the 4. They get in the end zone. Dante Moore, right side. Pass incomplete. And a flag comes in for pass interference. It was Malik Benson versus D'Angelo Pons. And it's going to end up being a win for Malik Benson. Just grabs on and Pons again. He's only 5'9", I believe, but he is an absolute beast of a corner. There you go. Deuce Knight might end up at Ole Miss. First and goal from the 2 now. Dante Moore. Handoff up the middle. Harris fighting to the goal line, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Ducks. So a quick response from Dan Lanning's team. They get in the end zone, and now they are still down a lot of points. But now it's up to... Oh, and it looks like Dan Lanning is going to point to the 2-point conversion. Might as well just chase as many points as possible when you're getting your butt beat this bad. Here we go, 42-13. They're going to go for 2. Dante Moore, left side fade. And I think that one was hauled in, and it was. Jamari Johnson with the 2-point conversion. And Oregon now down 42-15. So, okay, I mean, hey, now you're, rough drive there from Indiana defensively. Sig's definitely pissed about it. But, hey, it's still, they showed a little life there. De'Ara Hill with a big run. But yeah, I think this is just a change in college football and a change in the sport going forward. Indiana really has laid that blueprint. So yeah, it probably is gonna happen at this point. Looks like that's gonna be the matchup. DJ Lag was gonna visit Ole Miss. So Oregon's gonna kick this one off, and they're gonna, I guess, trust their defense to get a stop. Hmm. So here we go. 1st and 10, up the middle. Kalen Black, up the middle, scrambling, being chased down inside the 20. A flag is down. Oh man, that's a big killer though. Holding on Indiana. It was about to be a massive run for Kalen Black. He was tracked down from behind anyways. And now Oregon gets bailed out with that call. That is huge. That's a big holding call though, because it keeps this game in their hands. It keeps them not. It keeps it interesting for a little bit at least. And there's the hold. Oh man. So that is another penalty. There haven't been too many calls in this game. That's a big one on Indiana though. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Cam Coleman's recruitment, I really hope he ends up in Austin, but Alabama's got him on a visit right now. He'll probably commit soon. Hopefully he goes to Texas. We could really use him. Dang, bro. Oh, man. So here we go. We got a 2nd down coming up. 2nd down. Second and 17. Mendoza over the middle. Pass is going to be caught by Nowakowski. Short of the 1st down by a couple yards. They get a lot of it back on that play. Third and 4. Helmet came off. Mendoza scrambles, and he's got Sarrett for the 1st down. And it wasn't Mendoza's helmet who came off. It was one of his old linemen, I think. Helmet flew off there. So Mendoza in 2 CFP games has only 3 incompletions to 7 touchdowns, which is just an unbelievable stat. Feels like that's not really a real stat, but it is. First and 10, handoff up the middle, Black with the carry. Second and 6, handoff to Black again. Him and Hemby usually share a lot of that work for this Indiana offense. Mendoza's just still chilling right now. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Is that little Mendoza right there? See the next man up. 3rd and 3. Fernando going deep down the field. There's an incompletion. A rarity for Fernando these days. And Oregon may have just gotten a stop. It's 4th and 3. Fernando thinks that his younger brother is going to be the best in the country one day. Better than him. Love to hear it, though. W, bro. So Indiana will punt the football away. They still lead 42-15. And this punt will be downed inside the 5. That is going to make things a whole lot tougher for the Oregon offense. Oh, man. I'm telling you, Indiana's just so good in all phases of the game. If you are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button, by the way, boys. Wait, did Fernando Mendoza get taken out of the game and I'm just oblivious? No, I was about to say, I didn't think so. That's crazy. 42-15, Oregon starts at their own 5-yard line. Dante Moore, handoff up the middle. And Harris gets that carry right there. Yeah, they've been without their two leading rushers for most of the night. That's been a big thing for Oregon. Noah Whittington came into the game. They did a pregame interview with Lanning saying Whittington was good. He warmed up, he was good, but the play time has not reflected that as Whittington has 0 carries on the day. And Jordan Davidson's also out. So Whittington just dressed up and in pads and on the sideline was pretty much just gamesmanship. The guy has had no impact on this football game. And Jordan Davidson's broken clavicle. So they've been without their top rushers. It's a 2nd down and 7 from the 8. And they're going to hand it off here to, is that Harris? He is stuffed in the backfield by Indiana's defense. Oh, man. Oh, real. Flag is down. Oh my gosh. And they got called for a freaking face mask too. Offensive face mask. Jeez. This is really bad. A face mask while on the ground and you're holding an O lineman's face mask. Like, how dumb can you possibly be? That's bad, bro. That's really bad. 3rd and 11 now after that penalty. Moore standing in his own end zone. Dropping back, 4-man rush, going deep. Down the left sideline, and the pass is caught. Jeremiah McClellan with a big-time grab on a nice throw from Dante Moore. And Oregon with a huge conversion there. That's a brutal conversion to give up right there. McClellan going deep, and D'Angelo Bonds was in coverage there, and he just got his stuff destroyed by McClellan. Big grab right there by him. Yeah, and still not seeing much of that Decorian Moore out there, but hey, that's a big play for Oregon. They're still down by a lot. They're still down 27. An injury to an Indiana player with 2:48 to go in the 3rd. Like, it's still a long ways to go from even making this game a comeback even possible. But, I mean, you might as well try, right? It can't hurt to just keep going out there, chucking it, and seeing what you can have happen. Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, so this game, it's still, I mean, again, it's not looking good for Oregon. They're still down so many points, but they're putting up a fight. That's a big time completion. I'll give them that. GTA Live Web visiting Ole Miss too. Hmm. First and 10, and there's Decorian Moore finally getting a touch to the 40-yard line. And there's a second down and 10. Incompletion. Second down and 10 from the 40. Oregon has the football. Dante Moore, handoff right side. Indiana all over him. That was Harris who got that carry, and Indiana's defensive line all over him. Landino. He's in for, again, Stephen Daly, who got injured in the Big Ten Championship. The national championship will be a Miami home game, essentially, at Hard Rock Stadium. Big moment for the Hurricanes. 3rd and 9. They desperately need a touchdown. A field goal does nothing, zero for this Oregon team. It's a 3rd and 9 from the 39. 4-down territory, and they're going to run the football up the middle. And Hill Jr. makes the man miss and gets about a yard shy of that line to gain. So Oregon clearly showing the 4-down territory approach. They get the run, catch them off guard a bit, I think. And now, hey, you got a shot here to get a first down. Now, there's only about a 1 minute left in the third, so there really is just not that much time left in this football game. They got to get a big touchdown play at some point. So, Oregon, 4th and 1. They were middle of the pack in the Big Ten this year in terms of 4th down conversions. Here we go. Or maybe the upper half. 4th and 1. Full yard short. They're going to pitch it out. Indiana is there, and they're going to stuff Harris in the backfield. The Hoosiers stuff them, and they will get the football back with a big lead, and Oregon's comeback hopes are in the dumps. Jeez, man. That's brutal. That is brutal indeed, fellas. Another great job there by Indiana's defense to continue doing their thing. First and 10 handoff. Final quarter of football before the Indiana Hoosiers are on their way to Miami to play Miami in the Hard Rock. Home. That's insane, bro. Yeah, dude. This is something that you don't see very often. This turnaround by Indiana has been phenomenal. Kurt Signetti is incredible. This program is special, and they're just gonna keep on. I just don't see them slowing down. They've really discovered a new blueprint to the sport. Yeah, just I mean, all credit to Indiana though. Oregon just hasn't looked very competitive in this game. Again, 15 points through 3 quarters, dude. But I mean, they were a decent team all year. I really just never thought Oregon was like a upper echelon team this year, if that makes sense. Like I thought, I just haven't thought that when I've thought about Oregon this year. I thought they were better last year. You know, um, I thought that their game versus Tech was going to be a good 50-50 toss-up game because I didn't think I thought Tech was good and like a pretty good team, a really good team, really good defense. But I didn't think Tech was going to win the Natty, to be honest. But I mean, here we are. They got eliminated. Oregon made that game completely non-competitive, but Oregon's defense was the doing the heavy lifting, and they were going to have to play a lot more of a complete game if they wanted to beat Indiana. And they proceed to turn the football over 3 times deep in their own territory in the first half and put the game out of reach immediately. And then now their season's pretty much over. So, I mean, it's just the way it is. Indiana is going to go to the Natty. And Miami, they've looked like one of the best teams in college football at the end of the year. They got that big win over Notre Dame at the beginning of the year. The potential was shown in that football game. Didn't think they were going to go to the Natty, though. And then they lost 2 ACC games in the middle of the season. Looked like Miami was dead to right. But then them boys just got into the playoff. The committee gave them a shot, and they have won 3 straight football games. Their defense got it done against A&M. Their whole team came together and did it against Ohio State. And then last night, their offense really came up big and got it done. As Omar Cooper catches the screen there. Their offense came up big and got the game won last night. Their defense made some big plays at times, but it was their offense last night. It was Carson Beck, it was Malachi Tony, it was Mark Fletcher who got it done. I mean, I genuinely thought coming out of that Texas A&M game, I thought, okay, well, if A&M wins this game, if Miami wins this game, neither of these teams are beating Ohio State. But that Keontae Scott pick six in that AT&T in the Cotton Bowl at AT&T Stadium, that's when it clicked, right? I was like, oh crap, this team might be able to get it done. 3rd and 5, Mendoza launches on the run, and that is a pass interference. There is no flag. Omar Cooper was taken down, and it looked like it was going to be a flag, and nothing called here, which is interesting. I was wondering if the officials were going to throw the flag. I was waiting for it. Both of them get tangled up here in the middle of this play. And yeah, how in the world did they not call PI on that? How in the world did they not call PI on that? He literally grabbed his jersey and then stopped him from making the catch. That's the definition of pass interference. Clearly want this game to be more interesting than it is. As this ball will be caught at inside the 20-yard line, and Malik Benson trying to get to the outside. A flag is down, and I think that is going to back up Oregon once again, an offense that's been in complete shambles all night. And Indiana fans giving the refs their opinion, voicing their opinion on that no call. There's the College Football Hall of Fame. Went there over the summer. All the helmets, really cool stuff. And there's Frank Signetti, and now we have Curt Signetti. About to get on Xbox. It's almost time. This game's pretty much over, anyways. Curt Signetti. 1st and 10, and Dante Moore throws in the flat, and Indiana was right there ready for that play. Kenyon Sadiq has been completely taken out of this game. That catch right there completely shut down. Indiana's ready to celebrate pretty much. They got 14 minutes to go. And they win. 2nd and 11. The throw out to the right side and taken down near the 20. Sig. There's Fernando Mendoza. And there's more. Throws it behind his intended target over the middle. Oh man, Dante Moore, very bad throw right there. And it's 4th down and 6, and we'll see what Oregon decides to do. Again, you're down 27 points. It's got to be everything is 4-down territory at this point. And I think Oregon is just going to, they're going to punt it away here. We'll see if they fake it. That'd be interesting. And play clock down to 0. Did they call a timeout or did they take the delay of game? Delay of game. Delay game. So they do have to punt, bro. I was wondering if they were going to try and fake it maybe, but I guess not. They're going to punt it, and it's blocked! It's blocked! Indiana blocks the punt! Jeez, bro. Well, not like there was really much of a chance for an Oregon comeback, but that seals it. If Indiana's about to punch this in, I'm about to tune out, turn off the stream. This one's over. It's time for me to just get on with the rest of the day. Block punt here. Indiana comes flying in, gets a hand on it, block punt. Just, oh my gosh, boys. Mendoza's at the goal line to run it in. They're at the 7. Near the goal line. Here we go. Goal to go situation. Handoff up the middle. Hemby to the 5. If y'all are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. Thank y'all for listening to the stream. It's been a fun one tonight. Hasn't been a very entertaining football game, but hey, that's just Indiana being Indiana this year. They're elite and they're built different for real. 2nd and goal from the 5. Mendoza gonna keep it himself, running and spinning, taken down a couple yards away from the end zone. It has just been belt. There's Greg McElroy and Curt Cignetti back in the day when McElroy was at Alabama. Won a national championship against my Longhorns the year that Colt McCoy got injured. Cignetti. What's he mad about? He just looks annoyed right now. This dude. His team's up 27 points. Timeout? Yeah. So yeah, y'all click the sub button, and we are just about ready to call it a night here. Shout out to Indiana. They're gonna go to the national championship. What a moment for them and their program. Their fans deserve it. They've been through a lot. They've watched some really horrible football all these years for decades, and well, there you go. Oregon just doomed themselves, man. They doomed themselves from the moment that uh, they doomed themselves. You know what I mean? From the moment that pick six happened, it was like, oh crap. And then you have the two fumbles. It's brutal, but that's just the name of the game. That's just the way that college football works, and it is what it is. You know, sometimes it's just not your time, and sometimes the other team's just better than you, and that's how it is here. Indiana's been the better team for a lot of the year, and they've been the best team in America for pretty much the whole season. It seems like at this point, and well, this is pretty much just a confirmation of that. Shout out to Indiana again. Cignetti's incredible. I just want to see him put this last touchdown in. But we'll see. Yeah, if you are listening, though, again, be sure to click the subscribe button. Helps out the channel a lot. Helps out the goal to get to 2,000. So, again, help me out. There's Dan Lanning. He's been outscored he's played in Mercedes-Benz twice, and he's been outscored 91-18. I remember when Georgia didn't they beat them like 49-3 to open up a season one year? Yeah, it must be just a fun way to open up a season. Indiana's near the goal line again. I'm gonna wait for this possession to be over. I want to see if they punch it in and end off this game, or if they end up kicking a field goal. Either way, it's a 30-point game. No one's coming back from 30 in 11 minutes, so we'll see what Indiana does. Do they try to get Mendoza on their passing touchdown, or they just run up the middle, take some time? We'll see. Black is the running back from the 3. Man in motion. Mendoza takes the snap, looking, and he's going to step up, throw to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Indiana. Elijah Sarrett's got it for his 15th of the season, and that is the cherry on top. Hoosiers go up 49-15. All right. Hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some NFL playoff streams. But until then, hope you guys all have a blessed day, a blessed weekend, and yeah. God bless, fellas. Hook 'em horns, baby. Hopefully we can get Cam. Hopefully the next time I stream we'll have Cam Coleman, but I doubt it. I bet he keeps that crewman going into the later parts. We'll see, though. We'll see. Hopefully he just doesn't go to Bama. We'll see. I don't know. But anyways, I'm rambling. Hope you guys all have a great day. Congratulations to Indiana. Natty is pretty much set. Indiana, Miami, and Hard Rock Stadium for it all. Going to be a great one. Can't wait. Hope you guys have a blessed day. See y'all soon.